Ladies and gentlemen, life has a remarkable way of keeping a record of our actions. It may not always be visible, and it may not always be immediate, but one truth remains unchanged. Karma always comes back. It's only a matter of time. We have all seen it. People who act with cruelty and deceit, thinking they can escape the consequences. But life does not forget. The energy we send out, whether good or bad, returns to us in ways we cannot always predict. Sometimes it happens quickly, other times it takes years. But make no mistake, justice finds its way. This is why we must choose our actions wisely. When we lead with kindness, honesty, and compassion, life rewards us in ways we never expected. It may not always be in the way we imagined, but the universe has a way of giving back. At the same time, when we encounter betrayal or unfairness, we must learn to let go. Seeking revenge only burdens us, while karma works in silence, bringing balance where it is needed. Those who harm others will one day face the consequences, not because we wish it, but because that is the law of life. So instead of worrying about others, let us focus on our own actions. Are we spreading goodness? Are we treating people with respect? Are we building a life that, when karma returns, will bless us instead of breaking us? Because, in the end, time reveals all truths. And when that moment comes, the only question will be, did we plant seeds of kindness or of regret? Life is a reflection of our actions. Life is much like a mirror. It reflects what we put into it. Every action, every word, and every decision we make sends ripples into the world, and sooner or later, those ripples come back to us. This concept is not just philosophical, it is something we can observe in everyday life. When we treat others with kindness, respect, and sincerity, we often receive the same in return. Conversely, when we act with selfishness, deceit, or cruelty, we may not immediately see the consequences, but they always catch up with us. Imagine a person who consistently supports and uplifts others. They may not expect anything in return, yet over time they find themselves surrounded by people who appreciate and respect them. They build meaningful relationships, gain trust, and create an environment where goodness thrives. The universe has a way of rewarding those who contribute positively to the lives of others. On the other hand, think of someone who manipulates, lies, or mistreats others. At first, it may seem as though they are succeeding. They may gain power, wealth, or influence by stepping on others. But time is an impartial judge. As their reputation catches up with them, they begin to lose trust and respect. People may turn away, opportunities may disappear, and in the end they find themselves alone or struggling with the very consequences they thought they had escaped. One of the most profound examples of this is seen in friendships and relationships. When we treat our friends with honesty, loyalty, and care, we build bonds that withstand hardships. But when we deceive or betray those who trust us, even the strongest relationships crumble. And once broken, trust is difficult, sometimes impossible, to rebuild. This reflection of our actions also extends to the workplace. Those who uplift their colleagues, work with integrity, and show dedication often find unexpected opportunities. Their efforts do not go unnoticed. But those who cut corners, take credit for others' work, or treat people poorly may rise temporarily, but eventually face the consequences of their choices. One of the most powerful aspects of this truth is that we are in control. We cannot always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we respond. If we choose to respond with kindness, understanding, and fairness, we set in motion a cycle that brings those same qualities back into our lives. But if we choose negativity, dishonesty, or selfishness, that too will return. It is also important to remember that karma does not always work in ways we expect. Sometimes good actions may not be immediately rewarded, and negative actions may not be immediately punished. But life has a way of keeping track. Just because we do not see the results today does not mean they are not coming. The universe operates on its own timeline, and patience is key. This is why it is crucial to be mindful of our actions at all times. Small acts of kindness, a smile, a word of encouragement, a helping hand, can create waves of positivity that reach farther than we imagine. On the other hand, a moment of thoughtlessness, a harsh word, or an unfair decision can create a ripple effect that we may one day regret. Life is a cycle. What we give, we receive. What we plant, we harvest. And what we send out into the world, whether good or bad, will one day find its way back to us. This simple truth should guide the way we live, reminding us that in the grand balance of life, every action matters. Time is the ultimate judge. One of the greatest truths about life is that time never forgets. It may seem that people can get away with wrongdoing or that good deeds go unnoticed, but time has a way of revealing everything. Karma operates on its own schedule, sometimes swiftly, sometimes slowly, but it never fails to deliver what is due. We live in a world where people often seek immediate results. We expect justice to be served instantly, kindness to be repaid immediately, and wrongs to be corrected overnight. But life does not work that way. Some people rise quickly through dishonesty, while others struggle despite their integrity. In these moments, it may seem unfair, but time is the ultimate judge, and it always brings the truth to light. History is filled with examples of individuals who misused their power, manipulated others, or lived selfishly. At first they seemed untouchable, living without consequences, but eventually their actions caught up with them. Some lost their reputation, others their success, and some found themselves facing the very hardships they once inflicted on others. Time is patient, but it is also precise. On the other hand, those who live with sincerity and kindness may not always see immediate rewards. They may face struggles, be underestimated, or even be taken advantage of. But in the long run, life recognizes and rewards goodness. The seeds of honesty, hard work, and compassion may take time to grow, but when they do, their rewards are far greater than anything gained through deceit. Think about relationships, friendships, business partnerships, or even family bonds. The people who remain loyal, truthful, and supportive may not always see instant appreciation, but over time, they build trust and respect that lasts a lifetime. Meanwhile, those who lie, betray, or manipulate may temporarily gain what they want, but eventually they lose the very relationships that could have brought them lasting happiness. One of the most valuable lessons in life is to trust the process of time. When we are wronged, it is natural to want immediate justice, but seeking revenge or dwelling on unfairness only consumes our energy. Instead, we must have faith that karma is already at work. What is meant to happen will happen, and no one escapes the consequences of their actions forever. Patience is key. Sometimes karma is slow because it is preparing the perfect lesson. People who harm others may continue living as if nothing is wrong, but one day life presents them with a situation where they experience the same pain they once caused. It may come in the form of lost trust, missed opportunities, or personal hardships, and by the time they realize it, it is too late to undo the damage. This understanding should give us peace. Instead of wasting energy on anger or resentment, we should focus on living well. We do not need to chase justice. It will arrive on its own. If we have been wronged, time will handle it. If we have done good, time will reward it. So, let us live with confidence in the power of time. Let us be patient, knowing that karma works in silence but never fails. And most importantly, let us act in ways that, when time delivers its judgment, we will have nothing to fear, only rewards to receive. The power of letting go. One of the hardest things in life is to let go of pain, of betrayal, of the desire for justice. When someone wrongs us, our natural instinct is to hold on to the hurt, to dwell on the injustice, and sometimes even to seek revenge. But what if I told you that letting go is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength and wisdom? Karma operates in silence. It does not need our interference. When we hold on to resentment, it is as if we are carrying a heavy weight on our shoulders, one that slows us down and keeps us stuck in the past. We replay the pain over and over in our minds, believing that by doing so we somehow control the situation. But in reality, the only thing we are controlling is our own suffering. Letting go does not mean that what happened was okay. It does not mean we forget or excuse wrongdoing. Instead, it means we choose to free ourselves from the burden of carrying negativity. We trust that life will handle justice, and we focus on moving forward. Think about it. Have you ever seen someone so consumed by their anger that it changed them? People who hold grudges for years often become bitter. Their emotions shape their thoughts, their relationships, and even their health. Instead of living in the present and embracing joy, they are trapped by events of the past. But those who choose to let go find freedom. They reclaim their peace, their happiness, and their energy. One of the most powerful aspects of letting go is that it allows us to break cycles. When we hold on to pain, we often project it onto others, sometimes without realizing it. Hurt people hurt people. But when we let go, we stop the cycle. We choose healing over hatred, peace over pain. There is an old saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The more we focus on revenge, resentment, or bitterness, the more we harm ourselves. Meanwhile, the person who wronged us may continue living their life, unaware or unaffected by our suffering. So why should we give them that power? Instead, let us trust karma. The universe keeps perfect balance. What is meant to happen will happen, and those who have caused harm will eventually face their own consequences. When we step back and release our need for revenge, we allow life to work in its own way. And often, we find that karma delivers justice far better than we ever could. Letting go does not mean ignoring lessons. We still learn from our experiences. We still set boundaries and protect ourselves from harm. But we do so with wisdom, not with bitterness. We move forward with strength, not with chains of the past holding us back. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about us. It is about choosing peace over pain, growth over grudges, and freedom over frustration. When we learn to let go, we do not just free ourselves from the past, we create space for a better future. So, the next time life presents a situation where you feel wronged, ask yourself, do I want to hold on to this burden, or do I want to free myself from it? The answer may change everything. Authenticity leads to fulfillment. In a world that often rewards appearances over substance, it can be tempting to wear masks, to pretend to be something we are not, to follow the crowd, or to act in ways that are not true to who we really are. But in the long run, nothing is more powerful, more liberating, and more rewarding than authenticity. Being true to ourselves means living with honesty, integrity, and self-respect. It means standing firm in our values, even when it is difficult. It means choosing to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. When we live authentically, we align ourselves with truth, and truth is what ultimately brings fulfillment. Many people chase success, approval, or status, believing that these things will bring them happiness. But success without authenticity is empty. If we achieve our goals through dishonesty or manipulation, we may gain temporary rewards, but we will always feel a sense of incompleteness. There is no true joy in pretending to be someone we are not. On the other hand, when we live with integrity, the rewards may take longer to arrive, but they are lasting. Respect that is earned through authenticity stays. Relationships built on honesty and trust endure. Success that comes from hard work and sincerity brings true satisfaction. One of the greatest benefits of authenticity is peace of mind. When we are honest with ourselves and others, we do not have to live in fear of being exposed. We do not have to keep up lies, pretend to be something we are not, or constantly worry about how others perceive us. Instead, we can move through life with confidence, knowing that we are living in alignment with our values. Authenticity also attracts the right people into our lives. When we are true to ourselves, we naturally attract those who appreciate and respect us for who we really are. We form deeper connections, stronger friendships, and more meaningful relationships. We no longer have to impress anyone, we simply have to be ourselves. However, authenticity is not always easy. Sometimes being true to ourselves means making difficult choices. It may mean standing alone when others expect us to conform. It may mean walking away from situations or people that do not align with our values. But in the end, these challenges make us stronger. They shape us into individuals who are not just successful, but fulfilled. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are, they are not the ones who pretended to be perfect, but the ones who were real, who stood by their beliefs, who lived with honesty, who remained true to themselves despite challenges. These are the people who leave a lasting impact, because authenticity is powerful. At the core of authenticity is self-acceptance. When we embrace who we truly are, our strengths, our flaws, our unique qualities, we stop seeking validation from the outside world. We become our own source of confidence. And this confidence is unshakable because it is built on truth. Life is too short to live for someone else's expectations. The greatest freedom comes from being unapologetically ourselves. When we choose authenticity, we choose a life that is not only successful, but also meaningful. We may not always please everyone, but we will always have the satisfaction of knowing that we lived honestly, with integrity, and with a heart at peace. So let us ask ourselves, are we living in a way that is true to who we are? Are we making choices that align with our values? Are we chasing success at the cost of authenticity? Or are we building a life that we can truly be proud of? Because at the end of the day, success fades, but authenticity lasts forever. The universe remembers everything. In life, nothing truly goes unnoticed. Every action, every word, and every decision we make leaves an imprint on the universe. Even when it seems like people get away with dishonesty, betrayal, or injustice, the truth is that the universe keeps perfect records. It may take time, but every action eventually returns to its source. We often hear the phrase, "What goes around comes around." This is not just a saying, it is a reality. The universe operates with a sense of balance, ensuring that good deeds are eventually rewarded and wrongdoing is ultimately confronted. No one escapes the consequences of their actions, no matter how clever or powerful they may seem. This is why we must always be mindful of how we treat others. Sometimes people act selfishly, thinking that their actions will be forgotten. They may deceive, manipulate, or harm others for personal gain, believing that time will erase their choices. But time does not erase, it reveals. It exposes the truth in ways we least expect, often when it is too late to undo the damage. The universe remembers kindness just as much as it remembers cruelty. Those who act with compassion, integrity, and sincerity may not always see immediate rewards, but their goodness is never wasted. It accumulates, often bringing unexpected blessings at the right time. A small act of kindness today may return as a great opportunity tomorrow. A decision made with honesty may open doors we never imagined. The universe has a way of rewarding those who live with a good heart. At the same time, those who cause harm, whether through lies, betrayal, or selfishness, may seem to prosper for a while. But life has a way of teaching lessons at the most unexpected moments. No matter how much someone may try to escape their past, karma always finds its way. Consider the way relationships work. When someone mistreats others, they might not feel the effects immediately, but over time people remember how they were treated. Trust is lost, reputations are damaged, and even the strongest foundations crumble. On the other hand, those who treat others with respect and fairness build lasting connections that support them when they need it most. The universe does not operate on human schedules. Sometimes we wonder why people who do wrong seem to go unpunished, or why those who do good struggle. But the truth is, karma does not work according to our timeline. It works according to the perfect balance of the universe. Justice may take time, but it always arrives, often in ways we never expected. This understanding should guide us in every decision we make. Before we act, we should ask ourselves, is this something I would want to come back to me? Would I be proud of this choice if the whole world saw it? Because in a way, the whole world eventually does see it, whether through the effects it has on our lives, the relationships it builds or destroys, or the legacy we leave behind. There is great peace in knowing that we do not have to force justice. We do not have to seek revenge, and we do not have to dwell on the unfairness of life. We only need to trust that the universe remembers everything. It will handle what needs to be handled. It will return to each person what they have given, whether good or bad. So, let us live in a way that ensures when karma comes back around, it brings us blessings rather than regrets. Let us plant seeds of kindness, honesty, and integrity, knowing that one day we will reap the rewards of the life we have chosen to live, because in the end, the universe always remembers, and it always delivers